By the way, people have been asking me about this. It had to do with Tana in a lawsuit with her parents. Do people know about this? Literally everyone was commenting on my video yesterday and being like, "Why aren't you speaking about this?"
What was your growing up there like? I mean, were you a hooligan growing up there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To the fullest extent. That's like why I started YouTube, doing story times about that I was getting into in Vegas.
Right.
Absolutely. You're just like 21 by the time you're like 13, 14. You're partying in the hotels and the casinos, and you know what I mean? Everyone's selling drugs, doing drugs.
So what did your parents do for a living? When did you?
Should we watch this? Let me know if you want us to watch this or not. Because I know people really wanted me to cover it. People really wanted me to talk about this. So I uploaded on Tana, and everyone was like, okay, but you should be focusing on what she said about her parents. Like, you should be focusing on the story about her upbringing. Like, it completely changes everything, and there's, a lawsuit, and I was like, okay. So I'm going to dive in because I have no idea what is going on. So let's go.
You guys moved there.
They lived there for like 20 years before me.
Okay.
And they were like older, like a lot older.
Your parents are older.
Yeah.
Are you only child?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
I do remember from watching Tana Mongeau whenever I was younger that she had an awful relationship with her parents. I remember there was a couple videos where her parents were in, and it was always like a shocking thing. Like, it was always, you never expected it when you saw her parents, because she always spoke about, like, she would always call her, parents like the C word. She always said that they were like the worst people in the entire world and that they ruined her life and stuff. And then one day they would like show up in her YouTube videos, and then there was like one day that they were never ever spoken about again or ever shown again. So I'm actually really interested to hear what happened as someone who used to watch like Tana Mongeau's story times and stuff like that. So let's get into it.
But they're not like my best friend's family. Like basically adopted me when I was
Amari,
like,
I know
13.
that. I know that.
Like, and took me in. Like now every holiday I go see them. They're my family 100%. But like my family I was born into, they were just very crazy. I mean, all their money was very elite. It's so hard. I can't say a lot of things for legal reasons. There's like a whole.
With your parents?
Oh my god, that makes me so sad. Hila serving. I said that on my video that I filmed a couple days ago. I talked about something to do with this stream. I think it was Tana speaking about Shane. And I was like, oh my god, Hila looks so beautiful. Like, I love the eyeliner. And someone was like, how dare you call Hila beautiful? Blah, 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 blah. Like, this entire comment. And I was like, when is it that deep, babe? Like, when is it that deep? Like, Jesus Christ. It breaks my heart at the thought of like having a lawsuit with your parents. That is insane.
Which is nuts.
Well, so how long did you live with your parents?
I mean, I guess technically until I was like 15, but like by
That's
14
so young.
I was like staying with my friends for like months at a time and shit. Like I was out. It was just a very volatile environment. And
So growing up with your parents, they were like, do they have like some kind of, like, what was it? How much older are they?
my parents were like in their 50s raising me.
Okay.
And they just, in my opinion, weren't.
So what? Her parents would be in their 70s now? If they were like 50s, Tana's like 20, 70s, mid 70s. Her parents always gave off the weirdest fucking vibe in the videos. They were always like lingering. Like her mother always like was seemingly like just like there to like scran off of Tana, like take money or whatever, allegedly. Like that's always what it came across as.
Very good people. Like we just, you know what I mean? They weren't, I was very independent. Like I did everything on my own for as long as I can remember it. Like just even my meals and my money and getting to school and doing it. That's one of the main reasons I dropped out of school. Like it was just like nothing was a functioning routine, and I never learned that. I was very much so independent, and anytime I really needed to fall on a parental figure for anything, it was always my best friend's family.
That's got to be
And still
painful though. That like your relationship with your parents
One
is so
hundred
fraught.
percent.
That's hard. That's really.
And obviously being an only child through that as well, and not really having someone to help me.
Damn.
That's why I credit my best friend to like saving my life, for like being my brother. He still lives with me to this day. Like he's literally my brother, and it's amazing. I credit him to really helping me with that.
I mean,
Like,
everything she's saying here is true because, again, if you were an audience member of, Tana Mongeau, you always knew. I hate whenever these have fucking tags on them. You know that this is true because she would always be at Amari's house. She would always be filming with Amari. She would always be speaking about the fact that, Amari's family or her family. So, yeah, I believe everything she's saying.
tried to work out. There's so much trauma and so many things that I can't wait to talk about one day.
One
Jeanette McCurdy
day.
wrote that book that was like, I'm
One
glad my
day.
mom died.
Yeah, is it like that?
It 100%.
Holy
Oh,
fuck,
shit.
dude.
Like, I can't wait until, but
Do you want your parents to die?
I don't want them to die.
Would
I don't
you
want
be?
anyone to
Would
die.
you be sad if they died?
It's weird. I just had this recently, like, I guess I found out through the grapevine that my mom was like super sick, I guess, right? My birth mom. And
You don't talk to them at all. You don't know anything.
and
about
even
them.
then it was like it was up in the air of like, what if she dies, right? And I had this whole existential moment of like, would that, like, I remember crying and I was like, why am I crying? Like, I don't feel like this person ever loved me. And but it's sad knowing that it's closed. I guess
That
you'll
is so
always have that.
sad. And I mean, that is such a thing that you hear people saying, like, they almost feel guilty at the end of the life of the person who was abusive towards them. You know what I mean?
Irrational hope that they could one day be people and like apologize.
It's not even
right?
irrational. We need the love of our.
Well, I just think situationally irrational. I know they never
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, why? You know what I mean? And I went to therapy about it a lot. My therapist was like, and it's hard to when you talk to people about it because it's very much like, what if my mom does? Everyone's like, call her, talk to her. That's your mom. And I've always been such a firm believer in like, because people have said that to me my whole life. And, I'm like, I don't talk to my parents. They're not my cup of tea. And people are like, but it's your mom, it's your dad. But to me, it's
That is always such a, like, I mean, I always say this, like, Rina Sawayama has this song called Chosen Family, and it's, we don't need to be related to relate, that kind of thing about your family don't have to be your blood family at all. And the fact that people have said that to her or said that to anyone who goes through a situation like this is so upsetting and so triggering and so gaslighty and victim blamey. And like, if we want to throw around those words, that is the use that you would actually use them in.
someone
think when
never
you
shows you the love.
When you say it wasn't my cup of tea, I don't think people understand.
I know I'm
'Cause it sounds like
I'm
there was-
speaking in my legal terms.
It sounds like there was abuse.
Absolutely.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it was a really traumatic,
Absolutely.
and
But
so
I've said that before, and then I've been in court having to almost pay millions of dollars for slander.
Really?
you
so
can
it-
slander your parents.
Apparently,
Like,
you
what
can.
damage are you going to do to them?
Yeah,
So, are you going through litigation right now with
No.
your parents?
this was
It's over.
this was like 2-3 years ago. Probably.
And did you guys settle?
Yeah,
of
because
court?
it's basically.
Let me
I
guess.
can talk about.
Let me guess. Tana had to spend money because that was what they would have been after. This is so upsetting.
I don't know. I mean.
Well, did you
my
sign
lawyer-
an NDA?
I signed a non-disparagement.
So don't disparage them. That means
Yeah.
you could be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'll disparage
I
them.
received a letter.
I can't believe
You know,
having to like
that-
speak in legal terms about like your parents.
Basically said, you said these things on this reality show. When I was on MTV and I had a show, we went and kind of toured my childhood homes, and I said a lot of things that someone in court could say, create a loss of income, or which is so untrue.
Hey.
It was definitely just a cash grab. Everyone was very, in my opinion, but everyone was very aware of it being like that. And it went back and forth for a while. And then it got to the point where it would have been, and this was peak COVID, so it was all over Zoom and just awful for my mental state as well. Like having to just like relive so much stuff.
I was gonna say, like, how are her parents like gonna say that there's like legal issues of, her slandering them or loss of income if like, she talks shit about them on YouTube. But the MTV makes a little bit more sense on why they would have like, tried to make this to court if this was like an actual MTV show and stuff like that. It doesn't excuse it, and it's not, but I forgot about that MTV show.
All the time that to me I felt like I had been beginning to put to rest. And it got to a point where it would have been years in court and it would have been a public trial. And it would
Oh
have
my
been
God, no,
medical
she paid them?
subpoenas, medical subpoenas all the time, and just like so much shit.
You couldn't get rid of it on like before a trial.
I tried as hard as I possibly could.
What the hell?
And I don't want to see them. I don't ever again. I don't want to talk to them ever again. I don't want to feel that way ever again. I don't want to watch them defend that all the shit that they did to me was that they were good parents. Just watching, in my opinion, lie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we settled, and I had to pay them like $200,000.
Wow.
Oof. That is so upsetting. That is so upsetting. Well, I mean, that's what they would have been after anyway, especially if it was during COVID times, which is so annoying and so depressing.
That felt like shit. Oh my God. That was like the day in my head where they really, like, they were dead to me. You know what I mean? Because if you can do that to your kid.
I'm mind blown.
Yeah, you suck. But words can't express how grateful I am for my best friend's family. Like, they are literally my mother and my father, and he has siblings, and they're my brother and my sister, and I'm lucky as fuck. Cause you know what I mean? And I guess so many people don't go through Tana Mongeau's life, where you have a reality show and your parents sue you. And
that was I would say that is a very, 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 very rare upbringing. What you're describing, like that's wild. Do you find it odd that like there's two people, they apparently love each other, or they're still together, right? They're not divorced.
Look, I mean, it was the most toxic.
I'm so intrigued. Tana Mongeau parents. Let's see what's on Google. Tana Mongeau was born to Rick and Rebecca Mongeau. Or Mongeau. I don't know why I said Mongeau. I feel like I'm like picking up on Ethan saying that. Okay, let's see what's on Google. So this is all stuff on Google. Wow, she's so young in this. Oh my God. Her parents definitely, I mean, they definitely have a look. They definitely have a look. Right? Right? They definitely have a look about them. I'm not gonna say what that look is. Maybe that look is lovely. Anyway, I would say she's like 16 here. Like, she looks really young. Yeah, this was the video that I was thinking about. Whenever I think about her parents, when I think about her parents, they filmed this video together, and that's definitely kind of what I'm thinking about. Let's see what else is on here. Yeah, it was the Hefner video. That was right. This was what I was thinking of. Oh, she's gonna scream.
Hi guys, it's Tana Mongeau. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm here with my parents. This is my mom, this is my dad, Rebecca and Richard. Is there something you want to say?
My name's Richard. They call me Cowboy, the ones that like me.
I'm ready for the
They call me Cowboy, the ones that like me.
video. She's really excited. He thinks it's going to be like porn. I'm just going to cringe the entire time. I don't know why I'm subjecting myself to this.
This is 2017.
What are you doing in the video?
I have no idea. I mean, you won't let me see anything.
Something that far surpasses my generation. I'm excited to see what this is.
You said you think it's going to be like what?
I'm happy about the fact that
That's not what I asked.
the no talent girl can take her talent.
Jesus. Junkie, hi. Thank you for being here, and I will see you. What the hell? I'm excited that the no talent girl can show that she has talent.
Did you just call me no talent?
Well, they all did. I know how much talent you got. No, but she can cross the boundaries of entertainment.
Okay guys, so before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe, make sure to click that little bell to turn your notifications.
No.
Hit 1 million subscribers, so you should join that fam. We just put the behind the scenes of the music video over there, and follow all my social media in the description below for when I'm not posting. Alright, let's shut the fuck up and get into the video. So I'm gonna give you guys a preface, ready?
What did he say there? I mean, she cut it out, look.
The video. So I'm gonna give you guys a preface, ready? So in this video, I am portraying Hugh Hefner. Let's say I had like beef with someone.
What are the comments on this? I mean, there's no real recent comments on this. Why are her parents so chill? Because she's paying the bills. Huh. Interesting. Okay, anyway, back to this.
thing I've
They were not like a happy married couple.
at all.
So it was just all bad. Loveless house.
But 100%. But I think that trauma bonds are very real. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what they're doing, where they're at, anything.
I
like
mean,
that.
it's also common in toxic relationships where they will stay together out of like hating their child, or that's something that they can relate on, which is such a scary, terrifying thing to say.
Spending my money probably at the casino.
What was it that you said that they sued that they took issue with? Without saying it's true, just saying this is what
because the way that type of lawsuit works, especially because you can do it two ways. You can pay a lawyer a lump sum, or pay a lawyer hourly, or pay a lawyer, retain them to go do it, or you can pay a lawyer a percentage of if you win.
Yeah.
And that's what they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of lawyer. And that's scarier too, because then the lawyer is like hungry to, because if they don't win, they don't win anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just 1,000 anecdotes.
Tana is an only child.
There were roaches in my
just
house
a
growing
bunch
up.
of shit.
Or, I remember, like, you know what I mean? Hypothetically, I could have said something like, I didn't eat for a week growing up. Like, there was no food, or there was roaches in the house, or...
So they just itemized all this stuff.
I mean, how would the parents even prove this? You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. So say they have an issue with Tana saying she didn't eat for a week, or there were roaches in the house. How did the parents prove that there weren't? You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, Tana can't prove that she didn't eat, or can't prove that there were roaches in the house, but the parents also can't prove that there, weren't. So it's like, how is that even a lawsuit, or how even is that like a legal battle? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
To itemize everything, and then I just had to sit in court and sit there and go through every single sentence and defend it as hard as I can. Like, I was talking about how when I got to LA, one of the first things I spent money on was an immense amount of dental work, and then it was because I never really.
Yeah.
I remember her saying that.
You can't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can say you got a bunch of dental work, and we can infer what that means.
Yeah. Everything. It was crazy for sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely...
And you had to sit through that, and they would sit there too.
Is she implying dental work from not being brought to the dentist, or dental work from, like, being hit in the mouth? I don't know what she meant by that, or what they all meant by that.
Zoom.
A lot of it, luckily, thankfully, was mediation based, where I would say something to a mediator, and the mediator would go say it to them, and then they would say something to the mediator, and the mediator
Not
would
going to the
and say it,
dentist,
which,
okay.
Honestly, I think really saved my mental health a lot, because I think that if I had to, you know what I mean,
I don't think they brought her to the dentist for regular checkups. And how does it affect their parents, though? They're not public people, so it's not like a defamation against them. I agree. In civil court, you have to prove your side is more likely to be true than the other side. Oh, shit.
It would have been a lot harder. It was crazy. I just hired my, what would be my executive assistant for the next, 3 years. And her first, real thing with me. Like, now it's like, come help me with Dizzy. But with her, it was like, let's go to court every day.
Wow.
And I need you to take notes. And it was nuts. That's how I knew she was a great person and rode for me, because it was very intense. But
Christ.
Yeah.
Shout out. She's here.
Okay, no, that's big. But
That's pretty incredible that you survived that. That sounds really, really fucking...
yeah, it's hard. I'll
crazy.
definitely have to unpack a lot of trauma, but in my life, but you know what I mean? I got a lot of therapy about it, and the therapist helped me work through the fact that, why do I want to give peace to people who never gave me peace, type of thing.
You want to give peace to them?
No, if they were dying, I would only be saying, goodbye for them.
Would you do that if they were, on their deathbed? Would you say anything? No.
Mm-mm.
What if you're, whatever.
And I mean, and that's completely fine as well. Nothing has to be expected of Tana if her parents were dying. You know what I mean? That should never even be part of the conversation, because that doesn't have to factor in at all. I'm actually enjoying the way she's speaking here. I don't enjoy what she's talking about, but I enjoy how she's kind of presenting herself here and how she's speaking. It's very much so a different version of Tana that I've seen in a while. I'm not going to say a different Tana, because I hate when people say that, but very much so a more level-headed, easy to digest Tana, which I haven't seen in a
If they
long
called you
time.
and they're like, hey, I'm
Ever,
buying, I just
actually.
want-
I wouldn't answer.
Really?
I mean, well, I don't answer unknown callers, and I wouldn't answer if it was their number, I guess. And I mean, I guess if somehow an interaction happened where we were on the phone, they said that, I would probably just respond like a human being, like, I'm really sorry that's happening, and hope you were in a better place in the last quarter. Got any shit you can sell to give me my money back?
Well, you can't defame dead people. Just saying.
That's.
Oh my God.
I think about that.
Once they.
Is that true? Is that true? Like, could there, like, not be, like, an estate set up? You know what I mean? Like, if you, because that makes more sense about, like, Jeanette McCurdy's book. How old is Tana? I think she's, like, 23, 24. Because that kind of makes sense with Jeanette McCurdy's mother, you know, being able to make that book. Obviously, you could make the book if she was alive and just, you know, do, like, a lawsuit and stuff like that. But, like, surely the estate could, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you, like, Michael Jackson's estate could sue, or Whitney Houston's estate could sue. Interesting.
Yeah.
Expire.
Yeah,
So,
that actually, I want to write a book so bad. I've written so much about all the shit I've done in LA, but to me it feels so incomplete without
That's
a
huge.
childhood story. So that's honestly the only reason I don't have a serious but life story up until now out, I guess.
Well, I'm kind
As
of
parents, yeah, me too.
I'm
Like,
so
we're-
obsessed with every time Tana hits her vape, one of the crew changes who the camera is on so they don't get demonetized. I love it. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that.
14, like knowing
Oh
what
shit. Where were we at?
own parent. I feel like it's like a stab.
I never learned, like how to, you know what I mean? I accredit so many of my OG scandals to me just being like a lawless fucking fatherless rat. You know, like I needed to learn a lot.
Was there one parent that you had a bigger issue with, or were they both kind of equal?
Remember when Trisha said all that stuff about her dad teacher, his family can't sue, I'm a paralegal. That is the full thing with Trisha's Mr. Riney, wasn't it? Or Mr. Riley?
Really horrible.
Awful. Oh, never mind, they do show the vape. I was about to say, I mean, just as like out of interest, I was like, I wonder how she's vaping here, because like I don't know why, but Ela kind of gives me vibes that would be something that she wouldn't want to be around. I don't know why. There's not even dissing Ela. It makes sense that she's blowing it up in the air rather than like on the table.
Equally horrible.
Right? That makes more
Equally
sense.
horrible in different ways.
Wow.
I think, you know what I mean?
God damn.
They used to vape on the podcast before. Ela gives me someone who like smokes a little bit of, you know, but like not like cigarettes or vapes. Ela used to smoke cigarettes. Oh my god, I've been proven wrong. I think it's a respect thing. No, completely. I mean, I feel like if you're at a table where other people aren't vaping, especially like smoking as well, then either, you know, don't do it at the table or do it like that. Ethan got
Being
famous out of
butted by your own
Vape
parent, I feel like
Nation.
it's like a stab in the heart. Like, what the hell?
We weren't in a good place, you know, when it happened, I guess, but I didn't. That's just such a further thing, you know. What
Yes,
I mean?
it's
But
further,
they.
but-
It's so hard. I hate having to talk about, because you know me, I'm so. That's the only time I can't talk about shit the way I.
Not
want.
Adam knowing the
There's,
lip
like, that
movements.
it drives me, and that's what sucks too. Is feeling silenced about it for sure. But like, I don't even know. Like, they always. In my opinion, I think that
This is so beyond the point, but I love her sunglasses here. They're like so Anastasia, you know. To be left outside alone when it's cold out here. Well, maybe you should know, right?
financial success excited them. There were a lot of instances where I was paying for things. You know what I mean, for them by force. I my 18th birthday was the happiest day of my life because I'd been doing this for like 3 years. And
Yeah, story times are.
they were, I was a minor. They were controlling my finances.
Really?
So, absolutely.
Wow.
They were collected. Like, if you got a check from YouTube, they would take it.
Or like not
Or
give
spend
you. Oh my god, really?
They had access to it.
That is
I mean,
so upsetting because. I mean, I don't need to explain why that's upsetting. Like, the thought of her parents spending the only money she was making or stuff like that is so... it's so just abusive.
You have to be emancipated legally, at least in the state of Nevada.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, you're under 18. Usually
So basically, someone in the chat asked earlier, is she emancipated from her parents? I think she answered that there.
Parents aren't that horrible to do that.
100%. And oh my god, and I was so bitter for years seeing the people with the like loving momager who like helps. Oh my god. But yeah, in Nevada, you have to be like legally emancipated, and usually an emancipation requires a sign off of the parents. But what parent who wants the benefits of are gonna, you know? And then obviously there's other ways around that, but they were just so difficult.
Had you looked into the legal options of like separating from your parents? It was that bad?
Oh my god, I remember being 14, like knowing what emancipation meant. Wow. You know what I mean? Like I was. Oh yeah.
And so that I
found so crazy. This is like not to the same level, but like, you know, it draws parallels to the Britney Spears situation with, you know, her parents and, you know, her trying to get emancipated from them and the conservatorship, and, you know, there's parallels. It's not the exact same, but there's parallels.
Interesting. So at what age were you starting to make money based on your
like 15 or 16, right?
Career?
Probably 16, 17.
And were you making like a good amount of money back then that was like...
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first AdSense check was like, I remember it was like $5,000.
Wow.
That's life-changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're 16.
And I'd been dropped out of school for a couple years. It didn't seem like anyone cared about my future.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working a minimum wage job.
What were you doing?
I did retail, a bunch of different retail, like PacSun and different stores like that.
Tana does give such retail vibes. Like, and I feel like all her story times were directly funded. I mean, all those story times were like BS, but like you can almost understand that she would be, you know, lying about, you know, things happening to kind of distract from what was going on in actuality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in my head, it was like, I'm gonna have to work my way up here and save money if I ever wanted a future in an education, or I'm gonna go be a stripper because I live in Vegas. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, what do you do?
Were you able to save money?
Yeah.
You were able to keep some of the money for yourself.
Yeah, and I don't think it was. I wasn't just ever. I never noticed. Like, I don't even know. I get so scared to say anything, because God, I would hate to be back in court. But the shit was just getting bought a lot by, you know what I mean. And I'd moved out at one point, like by 16 or 17. I don't know if I can say all of this. I really don't. I don't think it's in my best interest to tell the story legally.
Do people know all this stuff? Is this something you've talked about, like with your background?
This is actually the most in-depth.
This is. She's gonna go on to this is the most in depth she's ever spoken about it. Literally, as someone who used to watch Tana during like those first videos, this is, you know, crazy to hear. How do I go? Oh, don't make me scroll to the bottom. I feel like she doesn't upload that much anyway, so this won't be hard. But like, this was like the era where I would watch Tana Mongeau, but the era of watching Tana Mongeau for me was literally around here. This was when I was watching Tana Mongeau, and this was when she was like living at home and doing all this, especially, you know, more so back here. Like, these were the story times that kind of I grew up on, and she was a few years older than me. iPad giveaway. So, I mean, she was also pulling in like really great views. I mean, these storytime titles are just ridiculous. I smoked with Selena Gomez. The stalker stories that, you know, were all fake. Like, there's so many of these videos that are just, you know, and I mean, she was literally filming. Who remembers that video at the pier as well? Like, her content was disastrous. But this was definitely during the era of what she's talking about.
Oh my god, I'm wearing something with a turtleneck to signify that I'm ready for fall. Even though it's like 95 degrees where I live and it's not even fall yet, and everything on YouTube is so premature. But subscribe because I'm with the times. Isn't it such a beautiful day to hate yourself? Because me too. So I'm rapidly running out of video ideas, and everything I do is just slowly getting shittier. But today I'm gonna tell you about things I did as a child. Just kidding, I'm sorry. I'm in the most sarcastic fucking mood today for some reason.
Oh my god, she looks so different, but so similar at the same stage, right? So similar, but so different.
I've talked about it.
People do, because I feel like it's so important to who you are that
100%, and that's
to not be able to
that was
talk
my-
about your
a
trauma
real
is
battle
so
with it.
when you
Like,
want to.
and it still is emotionally for me. I would love to be able to just tell my fucking, and I thought I was until I, received that shit. Like I thought I was able to.
what's the consequence of doing that? I wonder. Like, if you consulted with an attorney, you're like, I just want to say everything. Like, what happens? What's
Another lawsuit.
Another lawsuit?
If that's their journey.
How can they win that lawsuit though? Or you don't even want to go through that. You don't want to go.
I don't want to go through it.
Yeah.
I really, really, really
Yeah,
don't.
I get
and
it.
it's a lot of money and like it's
Time, emotional. Yeah,
yeah.
It's just
and
terrible.
I remember thinking at one point, like the lawyer again, their lawyer was so hungry because it was based on that and the things the lawyer would.
So what does that mean again? It means that based on how the outcome is, or based on how long the lawyer's working for, he gets paid more money or something like that.
And say like, are you sure you want to be in court? Because we're gonna pitch it like this, and this.
We're gonna drag it out.
So it's
drugged out.
So it's like paid by like how long it goes on for. That's awful.
Hollywood, awful piece of shit who doesn't love their family, and you have two sweet two sweet elderly parents who just loved you so much and were the best. Like,
that's so upsetting.
So bullshit. That's not how the world works.
Is a court gonna side with?
0% chance, but it's the emotional battle.
Yeah, but I mean, for a while, I think in that time, I really believed like, what if people didn't believe me? Mm-hmm. Which is like scary, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really one of the most fucked up things I've heard.
Yeah.
Empathy H3 unlock.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I promise you, I'm fine. You don't have to 5150 me at Coachella.
Not 5150 at Coachella. Mama.
With all of that, I'm really impressed that you're...
Tana likes to do things that are questionable, including wearing sunglasses inside. Excuse me, hot people wear sunglasses inside. If I could do it right now, I would. But it's just too dark in this room, and I would see nothing.
Managed all day.
Lawyers are charged by the hour.
Yuck. Because I just thought you were a mess. But now I see that there's a whole explanation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that makes me appreciate
trying
you.
to clean up the mess all these years. But we'll get there. I guess I'm not like... You know how I am. I don't fucking care if people like me or don't. One day I'll be able to tell my whole life story, and maybe I'll win some people back, but...
I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
It's gonna be, there's like a special poison in that where it's like they put you through this and then they don't even let you have the story.
That's what sucks. That's what sucks. Well, I think
this is awful.
Some people are often narcissistic with abuse, and they don't even want to believe that they are. They don't believe that they are.
Yeah.
Denial.
I mean, that's one of the most common abuses where people literally are like, I would never do that. I can't do that. Like, how would you, how would I even think to do that? And it's such an abusive way of gaslighting people that you are abusive towards, where you are saying, oh my God, I would never do that. Or if other people will be like, no, you weren't abused by that person because that person doesn't have it in them, or that person's too kind, or, something like that.
And that's all I ever wanted my whole life, just like, hey, I'm sorry. But that's never,
Yeah.
Some people can't come to terms with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that the fantasy that one day they just apologize and like,
now,
you were right and you were wrong?
Now, because I've healed from that regard, I guess. I'm not looking for it. I wouldn't. Like, now I'm just like, cool. Like, when I was younger, absolutely.
It's also so sad that, like going past the stage of wanting to hear them out, or going past the stage of even wanting to speak to them, like, that's how deep this goes, you know what I mean? That's how deep this is, and it's really upsetting.
And you always wish it was different, but I'm also not upset with the hand that I've been dealt, and in the end, I was just home, and my man and I went and visited my family, and they're just so sweet, and it was like so, like Amari, like my best friend's family, it was awesome. Like, it's normal to me now, and I love it, and I love them, so.
Thank God for that, eh?
Yeah.
We're good people out there.
Oh my God, that was... She does not look like this. Sorry. This photo that they've used of her, I love it. That is awful. That is so crazy. Damn. At least she doesn't hold on to it much, the hate or anger. And even if she did, that would be completely understandable. That is horrendous. Genuinely horrendous. Woof. Woof. I feel so bad for her, you know what I mean?